Your hooded eyes make you feel like eye makeup is completely pointless, and you're right, because you have the wrong philosophy about what eye makeup is supposed to be doing. Here are 7 things that you can do to your eyes to make your hooded eyes basically disappear and keep people's attention right on your eyeballs. The wrong philosophy is that your eyelids have anything to do with the purpose of makeup. Really, makeup should be getting rid of your eyelids. As a professional makeup artist for 25 years, I never once had a bride come to me and say, I really want my eyelids to stand out. What people say is, I want my eyes to stand out. They want people to be locked in and mesmerized. And that is the goal. So getting rid of this flesh, instead of making it pretty and sparkly and having all kinds of ombre colors going on, is a much better philosophy for getting rid of the hooded eye effect and keeping people locked on your eyeballs. And I've yet to see hooded eyes that were so bad that I couldn't actually see your eyeballs. So don't go talking yourself into the fact that you're the worst case. You're not. Tip number 1 is to tight line. Science of Pretty has a tight lining brush. It's called our Everything Eye Brush. It does a lot of jobs. We're going to do several of these tips with this brush, but tight lining with waterproof mascara, and you're just going to go underneath, and I make it look easy. I still poke myself in the eye quite a bit, but you're definitely going to do it several times. And you're just going to blink onto a little bit of that mascara. Now look at the definition that I have over here. It almost looks like I'm wearing mascara, where over here it's just a little less defined and a little more rounded, where over here I've already got a little bit of lengthening. So tight lining for hooded eyes is usually a really good idea because you're keeping the effect under the lashes instead of on top. Step number 2 is to just get rid of that hood, okay? Visually, we want to erase the hood to keep people from focusing on this big, fatty, fleshy, very light colored skin that is taking over the ocular area. And in order to keep people locked in on your eyes, it's really not that hard because the contrast of the whites of your eyes to your iris is the strongest contrast if this is all you've done to your face at this point. But when you go trying to make lines and artwork on your eyelid, the attention goes elsewhere and keeps people just a little confused and lost. We're trying to push people's attention here. So to do that, we're going to just get rid of this flesh by taking a very neutral color. This is the blonde brow powder from Science of Pretty. If you don't have this one, you want to use something that is very matte. You don't want any sparkle or shine in this. Something that is not too warm and not too cool. Okay, so we're just going right into the hood, go to the tear duct and to the last lash, and then you're going to connect your little rainbow to the tail of your brow right here. This is a very, very subtle move that is going to further disappear your hood. All right, so we just want to make this little connection right here. These are little micro shadows that we're making. We're not looking for attention. You almost shouldn't be able to tell that you did it, but you can tell because that hood is basically disappeared. Now over here, we still have brightness and we still have a lot of attention on this part of the eye, where over here, it's basically gone. All right, so let me show you that again, right in the middle, back and forth with the wide part of the brush. If your eyes are smaller or more hooded, you may have to tilt your chin up, and you may even have to do a lower part, then move to the crease and then above. Some people have a lot of real estate here and some people have less, but use your anatomy to basically start in your crease and then move upward toward your brow, up, 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 and then go and connect the outside of your rainbow to the tail of your brow. Make sure that your brow tail is not too low. If it's way down here, you're getting a droopy effect, and you might want to go watch one of the videos in my bio about brows, which is actually what we're going to talk about in step number 3. Step number 3 is to get a hold of your brows. Your brows have a job, and it is to point people to your eyes. They should not attract attention on their own. They should just point people to your eyeballs. And if you aren't doing your brows yourself and you don't feel like they're really serving you well, I have lots of videos. There's a great one on here in my bio. There's little categories right above all the thumbnails. They're gray. One of them says eyebrows. There's several videos in there. You need to make a date with yourself or several and you need to figure it out. Don't put your brows in the hands of somebody else. It ends up just being an excuse like, oh, I forgot to get an appointment. I didn't have time this week. When you know how to take care of your brows, you have all the tools that are necessary. You can't go wrong, and there's no excuse not to make sure that they are on point. They're very important. They're the boobs of the face. But to further enhance them, once your shape is down, we're going to take a little bit of Quick Fix and just go right underneath and clean them up. We're just brightening a skinny little area. We don't want to go back in and recreate the problem that we just solved by putting too much of this on there, but we just want the tiniest bit of highlight right below the brows. This, when you're moving around, this is going to keep the attention right on your eyes and make your brows look like they're definitely doing their job of pointing people in the right direction. Tip number 4 is to ace those lash clusters. You know the ones. I love to use the Ardell number 110s and cut them into 4 little pieces, but I put on my mascara, waterproof mascara first, and I find that they go on a little bit easier and they last a little bit longer if I connect the lash clusters to mascara instead of to my naked lashes. So I'm going to start by applying some mascara, apply the Falscara black adhesive right to the base of your lash. Do not pull it through. Just blink onto it just like you did with the tight lining. And then I only use 3 of the clusters usually instead of all 4. You want to make sure that you don't have your lashes kind of tilting downward. You want to make sure that you have kind of an upward sweep at the end. So usually 3 is all that I need out of the 4. So here's what that looks like. And then you're just going to go in and touch it to the adhesive. Make sure it's lined up with your actual lashes and move on. Don't overdo it. Don't overpress. It's okay to leave a little bit of a gap because we put mascara on first so they don't have to touch each other or overlap. Lash clusters like this are a much better idea for hooded eyes than trying to put the strip lashes on because, girl, you know you've tried it and it's almost impossible when you have really hooded eyes. So learn this technique. Again, it's going to take you a little bit of practice. Make sure you have the right tools. Tweezers, a little handheld mirror that you can hold kind of under your chin is really going to help you with placement. Make sure that you have the right kind of glue, and then make sure that you go in and seal them afterwards. Tip number 5 is to brighten the inside corner of your eye. You can do it very subtly by using our Quick Fix and just roll some of that into that weird little corner. Nobody really knows what that little space is called, but brightening up that corner is going to give you more eye length and keep people's attention right here and not on that hood. You can also do this with a shadow that has a little bit of glitz to it. Just be careful. If you're keeping your eye makeup minimal, and with hooded eyes, you really should. If something too glitzy in that corner is just going to scream for attention, and then you've lost the battle. Tip number 6 is to go ahead and build out those bottom lashes. I like to use a brush to do my bottom lashes and pull a little bit of mascara off. This is the Esom T11 brush. You do not have to have this brush to do this. You can do this with an eyeliner brush, even a lip brush, or a smudge brush. But go ahead and get some mascara on there. You're looking for those bottom lashes to be black, not necessarily a lot thicker and longer, okay? We don't want this to be chunky or grouped together. You're going for divorce lawyer effect, separating families into individual lashes, no grouping together, no families, okay? Just make sure they're black, not super clumpy, not super thick. This last tip is going to keep people so mesmerized and locked in on your eyeballs that they would swear you didn't even have hooded eyes. Use our brightening concealer and brighten up the lower membrane. So I've taken a little bit and put it on my hand to make sure that I don't use too much. You can use a white eyeliner, but honestly, I don't recommend it. They're too waxy, they're too white, and they just don't look real. Big, bright, bold eyes, no hood in sight.